In today's news, Bougainvillea's ultimate Christmas gift.
Government signs agreement with Air BNB.
We are live with the Manager of Vanity Scents.
We also have your weekly arrest blotter.
And just in, House approves 2 articles of impeachment against President Donald Trump.
Conservatives win UK election. These and more stories when 284 News returns.
Is business slow, cash flow down, hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media at cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
When you need to stay connected with friends and families at home or abroad, the best choice for you is Freedom. CCT Freedom. With the lowest rates in the market, our Freedom plan gives you unlimited calls and texting. Plus, our Freedom One package includes 10 gigabits of super fast, unlimited LTE data and unlimited calls to the BVI, USA, USVI, Canada, Puerto Rico, and UK lines. Why pay for overages when you can enjoy CCT Freedom? Stop by at one of our stores today and speak with one of our representatives to find out more about our CCT Freedom packages. A pleasant welcome, everyone. It is Friday, December 13th, 2019. I'm Javon Wilson.
And I'm Kyla Kenesha Forbes.
Well, Kyla, it's Friday the 13th. A lot of persons have, a lot of negative stigma attached to the 13th.
Yeah.
But we're bringing a positive twist to it. But today we want to dismiss some rumors that were going around about, the deputy premier being decided on, which is Honorable Vincent Whitley. We knew early in this year, the Honorable Premier Foy, he had the ministers on a rotational basis serving as deputy premier because he believes in capacity building within his government. And so today, one of the local media houses would have released an article saying that Honorable Vincent Whitley was selected as the stationary or the permanent deputy premier.
Yes.
But viewers, that is not true. Ever since the release of that article, Honorable Vincent Whitley as well as Honorable Premier Foy, they've both come to the forefront to dismiss those rumors. As a matter of fact, Honorable Carvin Malone will be sworn in next week as the final person to be on the rotational deputy
And when we say final, we mean on the rotation route. And then after that, we'll have to see what they do.
A decision will be made.
Yes.
So we just wanted to get that out of the way. As you can see on the screen, Honorable Vincent Whitley said, "Good day, all. Just to clarify my tenure as Deputy Premier, the Premier's Capacity Building Initiative continues with Minister Malone being sworn in on Tuesday morning as Deputy Premier. Thanks for all the kind words and well wishes, but there was a misunderstanding with my tenure." So I hope that clears the air.
That up, yes.
Viewers, we have to head straight into our newscast for today, beginning with the ultimate Christmas gift. Now, very rarely we come across a story where someone would be willing to sacrifice their health and livelihood for the sake of another. But recently, we here at 284 Media were honored to witness what we call a testimony of love, one where we've chronicled the ultimate Christmas gift. Most 28-year-olds of this time are self-focused and looking to preserve their lives. It is most times too big a task to put another before self, but not in this case. Mr. Nico Salmon made the courageous decision to give the man who gave him life a second chance at life by donating his kidney. He said, quote, "There was no nervousness, nothing at all. Once I knew I could continue my life journey with just one, I was okay. And he, which is his dad, would get the other one to continue his life's journey. From the beginning, that is all I wanted. Just tell me the date when it's going to happen. I understand, yes, that I have to do some testing, and all in my head I could have thought about is just the date. On Friday, which was the day before the surgery, I was excited. I just couldn't wait for the transplant to happen. I'd be okay, he'd be okay, and that was just it." End of quote. Now, our partner Ron Grant caught up with one of the doctors as well as the father who was overjoyed to be gifted a kidney. Listening.
Without going too much into it, I would say that the most important thing here is to give a lot of commendation to the donor.
Yes.
Okay, this kidney transplant does not happen unless somebody comes forward to give a kidney. So the gentleman is an angel. He gave the ultimate gift, which is a gift of life. And he put his life on the line because, I mean, yeah, surgery is very straightforward these days, but he put his life on the line to save his father. There's nothing more precious than that.
Sir, today was a pretty remarkable day for you. Your son gave the ultimate gift that he could have done. What are the emotions that you're feeling right now at this moment?
And the only emotion is I have to just give praises to God first, make everything possible. The doctors, everybody, the support from my family and everything. But emotion is just
Grateful.
grateful.
Grateful. What was this process like for you working with Dr. Vanterpool and the team at Heskett? How was the process?
It was great.
Okay.
It was great.
All right.
He was there for me. He was there for me from the beginning.
Yes.
Dr. Vanterpool was there with me. When we feel down, he just said, "Don't worry, keep up,
Okay. So we wish you here at 284 Media continued health and prosperity as you go into the 2020.
Yeah.
We pray that your recovery is a smooth one.
Yeah.
Before we leave, what message would you give to persons who might be considering? Obviously, this could not have been possible without your son being a donor. But
Yeah.
what message would you give to persons who are maybe considering and saying, "Hey, I don't know if I want to do this because it's tough"? What would you say to them?
Well, the only thing we could say, if you have the person who willing, like how my son willing, and could really dare and really decide to do it for you, it's a shot to take.
Okay. And coming out of surgery, I understand one of the first things you did was wanting to know if your son was okay. What did it feel like when you saw him and found out that he was just as okay as you?
Well, good.
It was good.
Feel good.
Wonderful. Thank you for your time, sir.
Okay, so.
Quite a touching video. Now, not only was this a gift of life, but also a breakthrough for the medical industry in the British Virgin Islands. This, viewers, was the first time that a kidney transplant surgery was conducted in the history of the BVI, adding yet another first under the management of the Bougainvillea clinic. Now, post-surgery, both men were up and about in just less than 24 hours, Kyla, which is really good, with optimal functioning based on the doctor's predictions. The $50,000 plus surgery, which was not covered under the insurance of NHI, was done free of cost by Dr. Heskett and his selfless team, who recognized that this is bigger than financial gain. Life is their priority. Now, viewers, kidney disorders currently affect about 770 million people around the world. That is 10% of the world's population affected by chronic kidney disease, and millions die each year because they do not have access to affordable treatment. In the BVI alone, there are thousands of persons on the waiting list, just patiently awaiting to get a phone call telling them a near perfect match, that they have a near perfect match for kidney transplant. Also, there is, the hospital itself is flooded by thousands of persons as well. Dialysis patients, Kyla, who sit for hours at a time, for man-made machines to do what their own kidneys cannot, and that is clean toxins and fluids from the blood. Now, in light of these facts, we are even more grateful for the innovation and commitment, and again, really do applaud the efforts of Dr. Heskett Vanterpool and his team who performed this surgery, even though, again, NHI was unable to cover the expenses. This is a selfless and true act of love for country and your fellow man. It's heartwarming, heroic, and historic right here in our beautiful British Virgin Islands. All compliments of a son, a generous son who was willing to give a kidney, and the remarkable team at the Bougainvillea Clinic.
I agree. Just an amazing story, Javon. Warms my heart to see. And like he said, at no point he was afraid, but he just wanted to know the date. And just the fact to know that he could give his dad a longer life, that's all that mattered to him.
What a Christmas gift. We call it the ultimate Christmas gift here.
I love it.
I
love
Media.
it. The government of the Virgin Islands has signed a voluntary collection agreement with Air BNB for hotel accommodation tax on temporary occupancy, on November 20th, Premier and Minister of Finance, Honorable Andrew A. Foy, signed an agreement on behalf of the government of the Virgin Islands, while International Senior Tax Manager, Mr. Alan Maher, signed on behalf of Air BNB. Premier Foy, while delivering the territory's 2020 budget address, spoke about the successes that property owners have had using the platform. He expressed how he witnessed the entrepreneurial spirit of the Virgin Islands shown in the aftermath of Hurricanes Irma and Maria, as local homeowners opened their homes to visitors through the Airbnb online service. Javon, the Premier is actually right, and I honestly think that this speaks to the resilience of the people of the Virgin Islands. For persons who may be unaware of the business model that Airbnb offers, Airbnb Inc. is an online marketplace for arranging or offering lodging, primarily homestays or tourism experience. The government recognized Airbnb as a valuable part of the territory's economic landscape and acknowledged that it is a positive contributor to the Virgin Islands economy. Airbnb is expected to complement the government's overall strategy to increase room stock by adding to the number of rooms that will open in 2020. Over 2,000 guests booked accommodation through Airbnb between July 2017 and July 2018, with an average stay of 4 days. The income generation by these visits were used to assist Virgin Islanders in rebuilding their homes after the 2017 hurricanes that, crippled our island and actually accounted for 3.6 billion in damages. So I think once again we're seeing opportunities and looking for opportunities on the outside to help build back and add to our economy.
Absolutely. A lot of persons really underestimate the powers of Airbnb. I mean, in other countries, persons make thousands of dollars, some up to $3,000, depending on your property. And in the British Virgin Islands, we have been blessed, to be homeowners of, amazing properties. And so being able to share that authenticity, that culture, that lifestyle with our guests, I think it's personal and it really speaks to who we are as a territory.
I agree. I definitely agree. Still ahead, we are live with Vanity Scents, and we've got your weekly arrest blotter. More news after this commercial break.
Everyone looks to the future, but no one truly knows what the future holds.
The number of people under the age of 20 with type 2 diabetes could increase by 49% by 2050. Let it be known that we all have a 30% chance of developing hypertension.
Globally, more than 300 million people of all ages suffer from depression.
More than 60,000 young adults aged 20 to 39 are diagnosed with cancer each year. Obesity leads to problems such as stroke, heart disease, and kidney failure.
No matter your race, age, or color, we are all at risk.
These diseases can be managed or prevented if caught early.
But with the right medicine and the right doctors to keep us on a path to live a robust and healthy life,
we will live well.
Welcome back, viewers. Of course, it is the Christmas season, and we do encourage you to support our local and small businesses. So here today in studio with us is Miss Pickett of Vanity Scents. Javon, she's all yours.
Thank you so much, Kyla. Now, when you think about boosting your confidence or simply smelling delicious for the persons around you, or simply just lifting your own spirit, you always think about perfume. So to speak with us today is Miss Pickett from Vanity Scents. Of course, I'm sure you guys have heard of it. We've been seeing the flyers, we've been seeing the posters all across our social media, and she's here to tell us all about it. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So, Miss Pickett, when I think about Vanity Scents, I think all perfumes. Just tell me a little bit about, the store, as well as, I know you've been in the industry for quite a number of years. How did you even get into it?
Well, to be honest, it was just by chance. I just started a part-time job at a fragrance store, and a couple of years after, I ended up managing the store, and it's all history from there.
So you've developed a really good affinity for scents and fragrances. Yeah. Awesome. So just walk me through, because I know recently there was a new store opening, or a new location for the brand, and before that was not so. So just walk us through why, because I know prior to Irma 2017, there was no Vanity Scents as it is.
No, that was actually the inspiration for the store. We saw a need for fragrances in the industry because, well, as you said, I was in it before, and I had a lot of clients who were constantly asking, where can we get fragrances? People were forced to travel overseas. So the birth of the store was to satisfy that need.
Awesome. So we are upon the Christmas season, I should say. A lot of persons are looking for gifts, especially for their loved ones, their family, their friends. And for me personally, and this is a hint to all of you listening, by the way, I'm big on perfumes. But I know a lot of persons love gifting perfumes. I personally love receiving perfumes. So tell me, if you had to choose maybe a top 3 bestseller for women as well as men, what would you say?
Okay, I'll start with the men.
Okay.
The Versace Dylan Blue, that one is an absolute favorite among the women and the men. Men love to buy it for themselves, women love to buy it for the men.
I actually know a woman that actually loves male perfumes. Do you find that strange? Is that common?
Not 100%, but there are a lot of women who think the male colognes just smell better, and there are a lot of men who think the female colognes smell better, and they attract women.
Oh, all right. So what else do we have for the men?
Yeah, we have the Invictus line. Most people should know about that one. There's about 4 or 5 of them now, and we're actually getting the new one in next week.
Okay.
So that is also a popular line since it's released. There have been a couple of them, but people just absolutely love them. And one of my newer favorites, the Chanel Blue.
That's for the guys?
Yes, that's also for men.
Awesome. Let's get into the ladies.
For the ladies, we have Jean-Paul Gaultier's Scandal by Night. I mean, the name says it all, it's scandalous. Ooh. It's very unconventional. That's what I call it. The Dolce & Gabbana is the only one, too. That's one of the newer ones in their lines.
That's the red bottle.
Yeah, that's the red bottle. People love that one. It's sweet and fruity, but not in a childish way. It's very sophisticated. And my absolute favorite, the Gabrielle Essence, that's Chanel's newest one.
I've never heard of that up until recently.
Yeah, it came out this year, and I'm actually wearing it right now. It's so long-lasting, and it's just divine.
Awesome. All right. So like we mentioned initially, there's a new location for the viewers who have not seen us yet. Where are you newly located?
We are now at 121 Main Street. It's the old Sunny Caribbean building. You can't miss it. The blue and white doors, just past Island Roots. Okay.
And then there's also a soft opening when?
That is next week, Friday, the 20th. It's going to be from about 4 o'clock until, let's just say late, 9-ish. And yeah, we're going to have food, we're going to have drinks, and we're going to all the fragrances you can imagine.
And of course, celebrate. Viewers, this is Vanity Scents. We're excited. We are in the midst of the Christmas season. And if you're looking for your last minute gifts, sorry, the place to be is Vanity Scents. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Kyla, all yours with the arrest blotter.
Yes, Javon, as Javon did say, if anyone wants to be a secret Santa, we do love scents, so run over to Vanity Fairs and get those last-minute Christmas gifts. So we do have your weekly arrest blotter. On the 1st of December 2019, police arrest and charge Prince Akeem Bambury, 24, of Longbush, for wounding. He appeared before the magistrate court and was reprimanded to Her Majesty's prison. On the 5th of December 2019, police arrest and charge Nicholas Williams, 57 of Greenland for criminal damage. He was granted bail in the amount of $8,000 with one signed surety to appear before the magistrate court. On the 6th of December 2019, police arrest and charge Matthew Hart of Rowtown for theft. He appeared before the magistrate court and was reprimanded and discharged. On the 2nd of December 2019, police and arrest charged Feliz Amador, 28, of Duff Bottom for assault occasioning actually bodily harm and damaging property. He was granted bail in the amount of $5,000 with one signed surety to appear before the magistrate court. On the 4th of December 2019, police arrest and charge Revon Garraway for unlawful possession of a controlled drug. He was granted bail in the amount of $5,000 with one signed surety to appear before the magistrate court. On the 7th of December 2019, police arrest and charge Shaquille Benjamin of Bellevue for unlawful possession of a controlled drug, unlawful possession of a drug with intent to supply to another, assault of police, and resisting arrest. He appeared before the magistrate court and was reprimanded to Her Majesty's prison. Up next, we have a Boris-led Conservative Party wins UK election, while his friend Trump is further implicated in the impeachment. All this and more when 284 News returns.
When you need to stay connected with friends and families at home or abroad, the best choice for you is Freedom. CCT Freedom. With the lowest rates in the market, our Freedom plan gives you unlimited calls and texting. Plus, our Freedom One package includes 10 gigabits of super fast, unlimited LTE data and unlimited calls to the BVI, USA, USVI, Canada, Puerto Rico, and UK lines. Why pay for overages when you can enjoy CCT Freedom? Stop by at one of our stores today and speak with one of our representatives to find out more about our CCT Freedom packages.
Welcome back, viewers. On December 12, 2019, the UK electorate returned to the polls for the fourth time in less than 5 years. With a significant victory, the Conservative Party, under the leadership of Prime Minister Boris Johnson, won the elections with a total of 365 seats. That's 365 seats out of 650 seats, Javon. This is the party's biggest victory since 1987. Many parties contended in this year's election, but the Conservative Party and the Labour Party, headed by Jeremy Corbyn, secured majority of the seats. Javon, this election held high stakes for the UK. This election actually paves the way for the UK Parliament to finally make a decision on Brexit. Parties campaigned primarily on their plans as it pertains to the UK leaving the EU. Boris Johnson has never been shy about the fact that he intends to leave the European Union with or without a deal. Boris was always actually a supporter for the split. Javon, I presume that the result of this election has once again voiced the UK electorate stance on staying or leaving in the European Union. Speaking after being re-elected in his district in West London, Mr. Johnson hailed the result as historic and suggested his government has been given a powerful and new mandate to get Brexit done. He also promised that the UK would leave the EU by the end of January 2020. No ifs or buts.
That is his agenda to be delivered.
Yeah.
He did say prior to the elections and even, post-elections, he's reiterating that Brexit must
happen.
done. And, that's his prime agenda. So I do anticipate that, he will be pushing that for a very, very long time.
Agreed. And I think in 2016, the UK did vote to leave the EU. And I think this victory for the Conservative Party, it definitely shows us that the UK wants this. So yeah, so that's about it. So viewers, we will be right back. This is 284 News.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
Brilliant Hands and Minds tutoring services, one-on-one tutorials in math and English, intense homework assistance, academic enrichment, school projects, effective communication and public speaking development, sign language for adults and children on Saturdays only. Registered with the Virgin Islands High School Certificate Program, Brilliant Hands and Minds can help you too. Offering intense curriculum-based training to help you or your loved ones get their high school diploma. It's time to make your family's education a #1 priority. Hurry, space is limited. Brilliant Hands and Minds Learning Center. We are the trained education professionals.
Viewers, welcome back. We just had a little technical difficulty with the mics, but initially we were saying that, Boris wanted this more than anything else. Even prior to the elections, his ultimate agenda was to get Brexit done. And so I know definitely now that he won with a majority, he will definitely push to get Brexit done, whether it's with or without a deal. But moving right along, viewers, the news isn't so good for his friend Trump. In a historic vote, the House Judiciary Committee approved 2 articles of impeachment against President Donald Trump: abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. Now, both votes were 23-17 along party lines. The vote comes after a marathon and sharply partisan session on Thursday in which the 41-person committee debated the 2 charges of high crimes and misdemeanors against the president, each evoking the historic stakes of the vote. The committee's approval of the articles now sends impeachment to the floor of the House of Representatives, where all 435 members of the House of Representatives will have to examine the evidence discovered in the impeachment inquiry and decide whether or not it warrants impeaching the president. Now, shortly after the vote, House Judiciary Chair Mr. Jerry Nadler spoke to reporters. He said, quote, "Today is a solemn and sad day. For the 3rd time in a little over a century and a half, the House Judiciary Committee has voted articles of impeachment against the president for abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. The House will act expeditiously," he said. Democratic House Majority Leader Mr. Steny Hoyer said, quote, "Over the course of the past several weeks, the House and the American people have heard overwhelming evidence that President Donald Trump attempted to bribe a foreign government to interfere in the 2020 election on his behalf, thereby abusing his power for personal and political gain. In addition, he harmed America's national security and undermined America's right to a free and fair election next year. Moreover, he has obstructed Congress's investigation by refusing to produce subpoenaed documents and ordering his subordinates to refuse to appear as witnesses," end of quote. Now, immediately after the vote, House Republicans tweeted the impeachment process has been, quote, "partisan and unfair," adding the vote was a, quote, "sham." Now, Republican Doug Collins, the ranking minority member of the Judiciary Committee, also said, quote, "Today's vote highlights the pettiness of last night's delay and the folly articles of impeachment that allege no crime and establish no case. While it's already clear that Democrats broke their own promises to rig this outcome, what will become more obvious in the coming days and years is that Democrats gravely abused their power." Now, a full House vote can be expected next week before Congress recesses for the holidays. This is the 4th time in American history that a president has faced impeachment. Now, if the House impeaches the president, a Senate trial will commence early next year and will determine whether or not to to convict the president and remove him from office, which we all are looking forward to. So I think that's more than enough politics for one day, preferably 1 week. Viewers, we want to wrap up quickly, but before we do so, we have to invite you out to Umi's Fashion, Soulful Songs and Style. Now, this is a classic. Usually she does her live after 5 on Fridays, her Fashion Fridays, but this time around, very different, of course, just in time for the Christmas season. So viewers, you can come out at 5:30 this afternoon. Is the storefront location right there on, that's the Main Street?
Waterfront Drive?
Waterfront Drive, absolutely. I just want to remind you as well that if you do come out, we have about 10 $50 vouchers to give away to persons in the crowd who will be there cheering on. You can also join us live on Facebook if you'd like to. Of course, she's always live. So viewers, I mean, when you think about Umi Fashions, you think your one-stop fashion stop, not just for the females, you know, with their dynamic collection, but also for the men. So we want to invite you out again this afternoon, 5:30. We will be live at Umi Fashions. That is it for today's news roundup. Viewers, be sure to like us on Facebook at 284 Media, as well as Instagram at 284BV on Instagram, as well as Twitter. My name is Javon Wilson.
And I'm Kyla Kenisha Forbes. We'll see you again next Monday as we deliver your daily dose of local, regional, and international content. 284 News, your source for honest and impartial news, right here on 284 Media. Have a happy weekend, everybody.
Bye.
Every 39 minutes, someone is killed by a drunk driver. Every minute, someone is injured by a drunk driver. 8 teenagers die every day in alcoholic-related car crashes. Motorcycle drivers comprise the highest percentage of drunk drivers in fatal crashes. The highest percentage of drunk drivers involved in a fatal crash are ages 18 to 24. Alcohol affects your reaction time, vision, tracking, concentration, comprehension, and coordination. Remember, when you drink and drive, you put the health and safety of yourself and others at risk. Select a designated driver, carpool, hang out in groups, don't leave your friends behind, and know your limit. 284 Media is concerned about the well-being of all and wishes everyone safety as we traverse the roads. Celebrate in style, but please don't drink and drive.